So today, before we get started, another gloves and gains method video. This is going to be a part 2 of one that we did before, which was one way to defend the jab, which turned into countering the jab, and that was using your hands and catching the jab. For those of you who compete or want to get better at self-defense, this is the more advanced version of the drill. We're still going to eliminate some of the variables, which means that it's not complete sparring. It's the reason why I don't have headgear on right now, why I don't have a mouthpiece, why I don't have a cup on, because I want to be able to talk to you guys easier. But as well, I don't suggest doing that. And the reason is because if you actually compete and you get injured or you get cut before your fight, that is a big deal. And if you are just doing this for self-defense, it doesn't make sense to risk those injuries when you're trying to practice to go ahead and get better. So now off of that, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do jab catching sparring or defending the jab sparring. The first round, what we'll go through, and I'm only gonna go minute rounds. Normally we'll go 2 or 3 minutes or 4 minutes. The first minute, we're just gonna go back and forth with the jab. Like I said in the video yesterday, let's not make it patty cake. But then the next round, we're just gonna be live off of it. Rule number 1 when it comes to partner work, right? Don't trust anybody the same way that you would in a fight. Even though we're only throwing jabs, your thought process is supposed to be, what is the next punch? And that's gonna be a next punch from what you can set up or the next punch from what your opponent can go ahead and set up. I'm gonna be talking through, I'm leaving the mic on as we go into it so I can go and talk about some stuff. But that's rule number 1, don't trust anybody. So now we'll kind of get into it for you. So first round, all we're doing is going back and forth with the jabs and defending the jab. We're not throwing any counters just yet. We're just looking at if they're there or not. But once again, this is not supposed to be patty cake. We'll touch gloves first. One at a time. You go first. If you notice, even though I am supposed to only throw jabs, for you guys who are a little bit more advanced, you might see I might be getting myself in position to get hit with the right hand or get hit with the left hand in the midst of us throwing these jabs back and forth. But just because we're only throwing jabs only doesn't mean that I can't work on head movement, doesn't mean I can't work on catching before with my hands, changing positions to see what's available for me. Doesn't mean that I'm not able to do that. One of the benefits that Nick's has, even though he's a citizen and I'm a citizen as well, is I have the ability to switch his stances. So that way he can get used to seeing a southpaw as well. Understand with catching punches, it's like a mirror. Whatever hand is closer to your face or the punches, block with that one first. If you notice there, he blocked with the wrong hand. Normally in a fight, we would take advantage of that. And that's the end of round 1. If you notice, even though it was 1-to-1, it wasn't patty cake. We needed to change the rhythm. We needed to change the cadence. The purpose of that, once again, is to remove some of the distractions, but at least have that thought process to make it feel like you're actually fighting, so you can go ahead and get better at that. But now we're gonna go throw the jab whenever you want to, and we're also gonna include the opportunity that we can counter and defend the jab with our own jab. Once again, even though that's all we're doing, we're not trusting anybody. We're assuming everything's gonna go ahead and come. So I'll show you what that's gonna look like as well. Touch gloves. Remember, it's whenever. So if you guys notice here, as I'm out here, I'm not in engagement range, so I don't really have to worry about anything. I'm trying to get into a position where I understand when the fight actually starts. And then once I get into that position, I have to make a decision, or if I'm going to be first and worry about him countering me, or if I'm going to be second and try to go ahead and counter him. But once again, this race starts when I tell it to start. If you notice there, I got to the line and I wanted to be second, which means I wanted to counter. This is not a fair fight. We're in the ring, but the fight starts when I say it starts. It's not, hey, I'm about to hit you. Hey, you're about to hit me. It's about understanding when the fight starts and when it doesn't. And then that's just an idea of what that looks like. And what it really does is it makes sure that you don't get to just keep things mundane and not keeping the main thing, which is getting better at fighting. If you compete, or if you're just trying to learn better self-defense, it's actually keeping the fighting. One more thing I want to talk to you guys about is, if you don't have access to a partner, shadowboxing is going to be one of the big things that you need to learn how to do. And I could do the same thing with shadowboxing. If I don't understand the patterns that I'm going to get into, if I don't understand the technique, if I don't understand all the choreography, the main thing that I would say to you guys is go in slow motion, right? So even right now, as I'm circling and I'm moving around, I need to take my eyes where my opponent may actually be. So as I'm circling to the left, my opponent is actually circling to the left as well. So my eyes should be a little bit to the right, or at least in front of me or over on that side as I circle. So that's really where my jab should be going. And then I understand where my hand position is according to where my opponent's at. So I worry about the next shot that they may potentially throw. But that's going to be just from me understanding how fighting works. And then just understanding how I need to go ahead and move around the ring and circle to get into my shots. But that's just an extra tip for you guys if you don't have a partner to do this work in. But if you are competing or planning to fight, you need to be getting your sparring rounds in anyways. 2 times a week if you're not in fight camp, 3 times a week if you are. But that's the jab drill for you, defending the jab, and the more advanced version. I'll see you on the next one.